Good evening, Philly, and welcome to the show. Well, the Lions game looked a lot like the Packers game last week. The defense dominated, and the offense continues to struggle to find consistency and productivity. It's time for my breakdown. Vic Fangio appears to be mirroring last year's blueprint, and while it'll hardly be a worst-to-first transformation like last season on the defensive side, what he has done with this unit so far is nothing short of phenomenal. It seems, though, that the addition of Jalen Phillips has not only energized but raised the level of play of this defensive front. The big guys in the middle, Carter, Davis, and Ojomo, were stellar last week. 5 batted passes, a big tackle for loss on 4th down, and the application of so much pressure on Jared Goff that he was shook, confused, and rattled all night long. The edge guys, Phillips, Hunt, and Smith, closed the pocket from the edges and played with dominance against one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. The linebackers filled the holes and prevented the Lions' 6th-ranked rushing attack from ever getting started. And dare I say that versus the pass, even Adoree Jackson, with the exception of one runaway 40-yard touchdown pass by Jameis Williams, probably played his best game as an Eagle. The synergistic nature of the heightened pass rush also paid dividends on the back end of the defense as well. Kudos to this unit for holding the Lions to 74 yards on the ground on 21 runs, an attack that was averaging 136 yards per game. They also limited Goff to 255 yards on 14 of 37 passing while sacking him twice, hitting him another 7 times. They also held the Lions to 3 of 13 on 3rd down conversions, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and turned them over 5 times on downs, and also stopped the fake punt. All of this versus an offense that was averaging 31 points a game. What else could you possibly ask? Now over to the offensive side of the ball. After 3 early drops, they seemed to settle in to a series of bad possessions, if you can believe that. The defense positioned them for a second possession 39-yard field goal after the interception on Goff. The offense then punted 3 consecutive possessions, then went on a 10-play, 64-yard drive that ended in a 1-yard Jalen Hurts touchdown to end the half 13-6 after Detroit scored to tie the game at 6 apiece. The second half was more of the same as they punted 3 more times, turned it over on downs, and Jake Elliott had a 49-yard field goal, which was huge considering the conditions. One of the main issues that the Eagles' offense is having is converting 3rd downs. On the season, they're 34% and ranked 28th in the National Football League. Versus the Lions, they went 4 for 15 for a paltry 26%. They're just not possessing the ball by converting 3rd downs, and that's a problem. Couple that with the penalties that consistently keeps them behind the chains, and you can see part of the issue with this offense. The run game continues to struggle with O-linemen taking turns blowing assignments and missing blocks that put them in insurmountable holes. There was no question whether Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts were trying to get A.J. Brown involved. He had a total of 11 targets, 1 more than Goddard and Smith combined, of which he caught 7 for 49 yards. But the passing game continues to be on the anemic side. Nothing is easy and every pass is contested. Hurts finished 14 for 38 for 135 yards and a 63 rating. The lack of production for the majority of almost every game this season has been frustrating and perplexing for the players, the coaches, and us, the fans. Something has to give, but the upward trend of the defense, the offense's ability to make plays when necessary, and their ability to protect the football is a formula that is working. They are 8-2 and continue to find ways to win week after week as they sit atop the NFC. That's my breakdown. Up next in studio, the co-host of WIP's morning show, Joe DeCamara, joins me to further talk about your Philadelphia Eagles.
This holiday, Verizon's got the craziest deal.
Picture this. You play big-time college football, you get some NIL money. You get drafted in the NFL, and you start making real big money. However, you're 23 years old and you don't have any credit. Here at Mid-Penn Bank, we're helping these athletes establish credit through secured credit cards and other strategies that can help develop their credit now, so as they continue to make money, they can have long-term success financially.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
He died!
No matter how you play, there's always another way to win on the Bet Parks app.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's do that again.
No matter how you play,
I just pushed on my tush. I just pushed on my tush.
there's always another way to win on the Bet Parks app.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging, our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team. This segment is brought to you by Verizon Communications. My good friend and the voice of the WIP Morning Show, Joe DeCamara, joins the show. Joe, tell the viewers about your book and where they can find it. And oh, by the way, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Look, Seth, thank you, sir. The book is right here. It's called The Best of Philly Sports, and it's available. It's available across the Delaware Valley, certainly on Amazon.com and all sorts of stores. You're in it, Seth.
Awesome.
91 defense, of course, featured. So is Saquon on the cover. Saquon obviously goes through the championship of last year.
Right.
It goes back a couple stories from the 1800s. The Penn Relay started in the 1800s. The Army-Navy game started in the 1800s. Really covers all the great stuff, from Wilt to your great friend Reggie, right, to Joe Frazier, all the greats. It really, Mike Schmidt and Bernie Perrant and Bobby Clark focuses on all the greats. Dr. J. I was very proud to have Dr. J on the cover.
Wow.
Because my nephew didn't know who Dr. J was. So I wanted to write a book to talk about the great players and teams in Philly sports history.
Awesome.
I'm very happy to have it out there. So yeah, if anyone wants to get it, Amazon.com, obviously in the lead up to the holidays.
Great. All right, Joe. So to the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
This defense is trending, in a awesome direction. A lot like last year. I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as a, worst to first, but how impressed are you with it?
Oh, man. So it's awesome. It's amazing. And to me, it's really unexpected. Look, with players like Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, start with those 3, they shouldn't fall off a cliff like they did in 2023. But I thought there was legitimate concern they could fall back to the middle of the pack, which to a certain extent they did in the first 6-7 games. But, man, Howie remade it on the fly, and Vic Fangio's putting it together. They have the advantage, those 3 players I mentioned, plus Nakobe and a few others on the rookie contract. That's something Seattle had in their heyday. Rookie contracts, that's a big deal. But then you sprinkle it in with the right players, and obviously the Jalen Phillips thing has been huge. Nakobe playing way better than expected has been huge.
And considering how young they are, do you see them getting better? And how necessary will it be for them to continue to be better down the stretch?
So they don't have to be better than they've been the last 2 weeks. I think every Philadelphia sports person would say, just do that for the rest of the year.
I don't know. The way that offense has been looking.
Well, that's a whole nother matter. Look, the defense, isn't going to play the next however many games the way they did the last 2 weeks. I mean, you're not going to do that every week. Do I think they could be the best defense in football again the remainder of the year? I do. Does it really matter if they're 1 or 2 or 3? No. I mean, if they can be top 5, and I think they can be top 5.
Right.
Then that really elevates their chances to get back to the Super Bowl and win it. Jalen Phillips has made a huge impact. Pass rush is there, because you're also talking about Nolan Smith now back in the groove, Brandon Graham back on the team, Jalix Hunt playing better, Jalen Carter playing better. Let's remember, Seth, Jalen Carter is supposed to be their best defensive player, and I don't think was in the first half. I think Quinyon was. Jalen Carter, that's supposed to be the best guy, supposed to be a top 5 defensive player in football, looks like he might be back there. This is big time.
All right, so let's talk about this offense for a second. It's been a head scratcher all season long. Is there anything that you can point to as to why they struggled so mightily?
Well, there's a lot, right? I mean, there's a lot. I think for the totality of the season so far, I think the main thing has been the offensive line inefficiency related primarily to injuries. That's my number one. I think lately, I think Jalen has been the biggest reason in the last 2 games. I think he has really struggled in the last 2 games, and that's been a bigger problem. Now, his conservative nature is obviously a plus. They don't turn it over. And a negative, they don't advance the ball down the field as much. They don't get as many first downs, frustrates players, the A.J. Brown thing, the whole deal. I think it's a lot of all that. Kellen Moore might not be, Patullo, probably not as good as Kellen Moore. So you have that reality. I've also wondered about physical diminishment. It's a tough term, but I'll say it. Physical diminishment for Saquon and A.J.
Well, see, I don't believe that with Saquon. I could probably see that with A.J. because he doesn't look like is as explosive off the line, and he's not creating that much separation. But when Saquon has been given some room, I think the explosiveness is still there.
So I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right. I've heard people like yourself and a number of former players that I've talked to that have gone both ways on this. I think people are pretty split. Look, I'll just tell you, my eye test is not the same. I don't think he's the same. Obviously, the biggest factor there is the O-line. There's not much running room. Jalen hasn't run much, so by extension, that makes it a little bit more bottled up. I look forward to when Jalen runs more down the stretch because we know their offense is best when he's doing that 5 to 7 times a game by design. But you want to be careful, not have injury and all that. But I don't think, look, Saquon had 482 touches last year. He was supposed to be a little diminished. So I think he is, but hopefully it's not too much.
All right. And then wrapping up, I believe at this point in time, offensively, they are who they are. The changes that they'll need to make will have to come in the offseason. At 8-2, is this sustainable for another Super Bowl run?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay.
So look, it obviously could trip them up big time because, we all know enough about football to know it might be a heck of a problem, especially in the playoffs against some of the best teams. But they've also beaten some of the best teams as well.
Right.
I mean, they've played almost all the best teams in the NFC except Seattle, and they beat them all. And by the way, they beat Kansas City in that whole deal. I do think they can do it this way. I think the one thing that they've got in their back pocket that Sirianni and Patullo and Hurts know that they've got in their back pocket, and they will pull it out when they need to, is Jalen running more. And it's very wise that they haven't done it yet because you have the short-term long haul, which I define as this season. You want to be the team that plays in February and wins that game. That's short-term long haul. Then there's long haul, which is Jalen Hurts' career. And, Jalen's really the third quarterback this century that was supposed to go for a long, long time in Philly sports as the QB. Donovan was long, but not nearly as long as players like Brady and Manning. I mean, he got beat up, a lot of injuries. Carson got really beat up, and that didn't go even close to as long as people thought it would. So you want Jalen to go long haul. I think they've been wise, especially because they keep winning. Look, if they were 5-5 right now and you're like, hey, the next game you better win it to make the playoffs, I'd say start running them this week.
Right.
But you still got a runway here. They're 8-2. They're in good shape from that standpoint. They got a great shot to be the number 1 seed. And I think they'll unleash them, though, more when the games become even bigger. And that will help every aspect of the offense.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you coming in the studio with me today. It's always great to talk birds with you. Thanks for your time, man.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
All right. After this pause, Brad Feinberg is here to help fill out your betting and fantasy picks for Week 12.
There's a number on the screen.
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 There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
Pride, passion, and persistence. These are the values that drive us all at Ron Jaworski Golf. We strive to deliver outstanding conditions as well as playability for golfers of all ages and abilities. Our championship golf courses offer a variety of challenges from a link-style walk along the river to an escape into the pines and everything in between. My team at Ron Jaworski Golf is committed to delivering memorable experiences every single day. See all we do at ronjaworskigolf.com.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
This is Parks. Parks, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
At Mid-Penn Bank, we believe in the power of community. We're not just another bank, we're your bank. We're also your neighbor. For over 150 years, we've been helping dreams come true, financing projects that make a difference locally. From small businesses to community centers, we're here to support what matters most to you, donating time and resources to strengthen the Philadelphia region. And when Philly's favorite superstars need a bank they can trust, they turn to Mid-Penn Bank, just like you can. Mid-Penn Bank, stronger communities, stronger futures. Let's build something great together.
This segment is brought to you by Recovery Unplugged. Welcome back. Give my fantasy and betting guru, Brad Feinberg, a follow on X at Brad's Best Bets. Brad, the Birds just keep on beating good teams. I believe they just may have enough to make another run.
I can't believe, Seth, with so many good players on offense, how it's been this big of a struggle. It really surprises me. But Dallas's defense could hopefully be, Seth, the cure to all that and get them on the right track.
No doubt about it. All right, man. So at this point of the season, this is where the fantasy football starts to heat up. What do you like, and who are you fading this week?
You got it, Seth. Listen, I'm going to start with some guys who I think are overrated. Green Bay quarterback Jordan Love. Oh, this guy has no weapons. I guess Christian Watson's his only target. Really not much more. They're still pricing as a top 8 quarterback. I don't see Green Bay's offense as anything. I would stay away from Jordan Love. Running back wise, we always talk about, because I fade someone, doesn't mean they're not a great player. Jonathan Taylor's been the best player. He's had a Saquon Barkley type year from last year, this year. But he's far and away the highest priced player going in Kansas City. This is the game. They're an underdog. We'll get to that game later. They're an underdog to win. They could be trailing. Game script could hurt them where they have to pass more than they normally run the ball. I'm not paying up for Jonathan Taylor. Many other good weeks to do it. Not this week. Wide receiver wise, DJ Moore, Seth. Guy's had a good career, and he's not old. I can't figure this one out. But his last 2 games, 0 catches, 1 catch. No thank you on DJ Moore living off his past success. And finally, Seth, defensively, I have to say the New England Patriots are a little bit overrated. Yeah, they're a good defense, but they're playing, even without Jamar Chase playing for the Bengals, Joe Flacco and company, they'll be able to score something. And they're the second most expensive defense, no thanks. And guys who I think are underrated, Seth, quarterback-wise, Seth, well, last week, let's do it again this week. Jacoby Brissett, NFL record, I think it was 48 completions. I'm taking him again. They still have him priced as one of the 5 lowest quarterbacks. They can't run. He's been great. Yeah, give me Jacoby Brissett absolutely against the pedestrian Jaguars defense. Running back-wise, Seth, Emmanuel Wilson's going to get all the run for the Green Bay Packers. He's really, really cheap, Seth, not priced in the top 20. He should be priced in the top 10 as he's getting a full run of carries against an average Vikings defense. Wide receiver-wise, Seth, again, we talked about Jacoby Brissett. Michael Wilson last week, 15 catches, Seth. 15 catches, not being priced in the top 30. Yeah, I mean, this is an egregious misprice. Give me Michael Wilson. And finally, Seth, defensively, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks against the worst offense in football, the Tennessee Titans.
All right, Brad, this is also the time of year where my phone starts to blow up and people start asking me about bets. Who do you like here? I'm not the expert. So, give us some prop bets, some parlays, and some straight up winners for week 12.
You got it, my friend. Look, Seth, I'm going to start off with the Chiefs. Now, they're laying 3 at home against Indy. I think they win this game. I do. Indy, we saw them lose a few weeks ago, and then we saw them last week or 2 weeks ago in the game in London. They had to take the Falcons, the Falcons, to overtime. I think the Chiefs get this one done. Next, You keep talking about Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson. I got to take the Cardinals +3 against the Jaguars. I think it's a 50-50 game. I actually lean Cardinals to win it, but I'll take the 3 points to be safe. Next, Seth, I like the Saints laying the 1.5 points. And finally, Seth, we got to talk about it. Eagles versus Cowboys. Now, no question about it, Seth. No question about the Eagles are the better team. But again, sometimes you just pick your spots in certain games. Well, I know the Eagles are, again, clearly the better team. I think Dallas will cover the 4-point spread. I think Dallas offensively can do enough. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll go down to the last minute. I think it'll be an exciting game. A lot like the first game these teams played when it went down to the last play. But I'm going to take Dallas +4 set. Don't hate me, but I say the Eagles win a close one.
All right, my friend, always top shelf info. Thanks for the time and insights. I'll see you next week, Brad. As we wrap up the show, up next, my final thoughts and predictions for Dallas week. That's right, it's Dallas week, and a chance to inch that much closer to wrapping up the division.
Since 1893, Weber Display and Packaging has been Pennsylvania's leading manufacturer of corrugated packaging and displays. We're family owned with 4 Philadelphia locations, 2 converting facilities, a warehouse, and a fulfillment center. Designed through delivery, we exceed customer needs. Weber Display and Packaging. Our core values drive everything we do. Come join our team.
Gentlemen, are you ready for a wardrobe update? Introducing Divine Nine's Custom Menswear, your clothier for truly unique, custom-made threads. With Divine Nine, you can design your own one-of-a-kind suit, jacket, slacks, shirts, golf pants, and shorts, perfectly handcrafted by our skilled artisans who will bring your vision to life. Prepare to stand out from the crowd with Divine Nine's Custom Clothier, official clothier of Seth Joyner. Custom clothing made for you.
There's a number on the screen.
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 There is a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen.
There's a number on the screen. There's a number on the screen.
At Revolution X, we know that fortunes are made in times of uncertainty. Are you selling your investment real estate? Are you interested in deferring your tax with a 1031 exchange? At RevX, we're experts in 1031 exchange planning and the use of passive real estate options using DSTs. Not in the midst of an exchange and want to invest in real estate but don't know where to start? Revolution X has institutional-grade real estate options for any size investor right now. Set up a consultation at RevXWealth.com. RevX, defer the tax, maximize the gain.
This segment is brought to you by Weber Display and Packaging. Welcome back. After so much drama surrounding this team, I believe that they just strive under this stress. What's true versus what's not, no one knows. But as long as they keep winning, that's all that matters. When you consider that this team is 8-2 after 11 weeks, it's a testament to their will to simply find a way to show up each and every week and win, while enduring the league's toughest schedule. The loss of Lane Johnson for multiple weeks will be a challenge, not only because of his stellar play, but because of how it affects their extra O-lineman package with Fred Johnson at tight end. Who fills that void? Also, Cam Jurgens continues to battle knee issues and potentially back issues as well. Brett Toth and Fred Johnson have filled in admirably when needed. Kevin Patullo continues to search for a formula to kickstart the running game in order to get their anemic passing game on track. I am of the opinion that the RPO and read option needs to be, at some level, a part of the offensive game plan. I get protecting Jalen Hurts, but Jalen was a big part of Saquon's success last year, as well as the great O-line play, more than most people will admit. The threat of Jalen keeping the ball and running forces defenses into an 11-on-10 situation and forces teams to add a safety into the equation to stop it. Now that requires more man coverage by opposing defenses as well, creating one-on-one situations on the back end for AJ, Devontae, and Dallas. Jalen just has to be smart and get what he can get and get down and stay out of harm's way. Risk versus reward. The O-line will also need to simply play better and fix the penalties on first and second down. This is doable. The question is whether or not Sirianni and Patullo are willing to risk Hurts using his legs more than he has, and whether the offensive line can get right. Defensively, I expect for this unit to continue to thrive as they get more familiar with one another, confident in each other, and in what Vic Fangio is asking them to do. The run defense has been much better over the last 4 games. Add to that an elevated level of pass rush and pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and the pass coverage will improve as well as DBs begins to challenge opposing wide receivers, trusting and believing that the pass rush will get home with more consistency. As good as the record has been, this is the time when the rubber meets the road. This is the time of the season where the contenders start to separate themselves from the pretenders, and consistent play sets the stage for what the playoff run will look like. This team has been there and done it before. And for the young guys and new guys, they'll need to follow the lead of the vets and the guys who have been to the mountaintop before. No doubt in my mind that this team can get it done. Up next, it's Dallas week. This is no time to take any team lightly. Dallas has struggled all season off and on. But if the Eagles give them early life, they'll be in a dogfight for 60 minutes. Dak is playing at an MVP level. CeeDee and Pickens are playing at an elite level. And Williams at running back gives them the balance that they have not had in some time. Defensively, although they've ranked as one of the worst teams in the National Football League, the addition of Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark at defensive tackle, the interior 3 will have their hands full all day long. The chess match will be whether the Birds' O-line can secure the middle enough to run off tackle and get outside, producing enough running game to get some play action passes. That being said, the Birds are still the better team. The way that the offense is played, this may very well be another low-scoring defensive battle. I've got the Birds moving to 9-2, 21-14. That's the show for tonight. Tune in next week as we look back on the Cowboys game and look ahead to the Bears. Good night, Philly faithful, and fly, Eagles fly.